Hey guys, so it's like 1 week or something like that until opening day baseball. Something to get really excited about. I'm sure you're all tired of mock drafts, you're tired of predictions, you're tired of rankings, but guess what? I'm here for another bold fantasy baseball prediction list. This is my top 5 that I posted on Twitter earlier today. So let's get straight into it. The first one, I think Yadier Molina is in for a better season overall than Gary Sanchez. Obviously, with Sanchez's limited sample range from last year, we can't really get into his numbers too much, but I think overall his numbers are a little bit misleading. He's obviously a guy that's going to strike out a lot. He played in only 53 games last year, and he had a 24.9% strikeout rate, which is really high for such a small amount of at-bats. I've seen people drafting him in the 7th or 9th round, which is just crazy. Guys are taking him before Buster Posey, which is just insane to me. I think Molina has always been a great late round catcher option. You don't need to reach for guys anywhere earlier than the 10th round, really. And Molina gives you all the numbers that you want. Last season, he had an average of 307. That ranked 15th best in the league. His walk rate is up to 6.7%, which is an entire percent higher than it was in 2015. He has an OBP of 360, which was the highest that he's posted since 2012. Remember how old Molina is? He's also got a hard ball rate of 31.7%. That's a number that's going up, and his soft ball rate is coming way down. And he's better batting against lefties than he ever was. So I think Molina is a great guy that you can pick up really late. And he's probably going to finish with a better season than Sanchez and a lot of these catchers that are predicted to do any better. Number 2 is Gregory Polanco. I think he's in for the best season out of the 3 Pirates outfielders. I fully expect him to outperform Starling Marte. Probably not in steals, that would be ridiculous, but in terms of power numbers and OBP and average and home runs, I think Polanco will completely wipe him off the board. Last year, Polanco had a little bit of an up and down season. He started really well, and it fluctuated a little bit all the way through to September. But this year, he's improved his swing. He's getting a lot more leg drive through the ball. He's killing it against righties. He has 17 home runs off them last season, and he's much better against lefties too. He's batting for a 312 average. He just needs to lower the strikeouts, and I think that's something that we can expect from him as he's got another year under his belt. And it's really going to come down to who's batting leadoff for the Pirates. And right now it's going to be Josh Bell. So that gives Polanco a lot of great RBI opportunities. With Marte, he's going to give you the steals, but his OBP was a little bit misleading last season. He got hit by pitches 14 times, which is really high. And I think steals overall are going to decline league-wide. So it's not really something that you can rely on him from, especially if in a points-based format. Number 3, a guy that I'm so high on, and I've drafted in a lot of leagues, is Cespedes. He's one of my favourite players, so I'm a little bit biased, but he is just on an absolute tear this spring. He's hit 6 home runs, I think, and he just looks massive. He's completely jacked, which is just crazy. It takes him an hour to run around the base path, but Cespedes' 39.3% hard hit rate is just out of this world. He had a quad injury last year that sort of made him lose some time in games, and he missed a little bit of the season. But if he can play a full year with the kind of strength that he has, he's probably going to hit close to 40 home runs, and I think he could be in the top 5 easily this season. And he's quite old too, so that would be really impressive. Number 4 on my list is Robbie Ray. I think he becomes the Diamondbacks ace by the end of this season. As everybody knows, Zach Greinke sucks balls. He's had one of the worst springs ever. I don't know how anyone can rely on him this season. But as for Ray, he's in for a really big year, I think. Last season, he had 11.25 strikeouts per 9 innings over a 100 inning span, which ranked him about 12th or 13th in the league, I think. And he's really underrated. He's a slider and fastball guy. He does need to develop his curveball a little bit more and limit some home runs. He gave up a lot of soft and easy hits last season, especially big, long fly balls that did result in home runs. But I think Ray is the kind of player that is on the verge or on the cusp of becoming really, really great and a really, really great kind of ace for the Diamondbacks. He's a lefty, which just makes him even more valuable. And he gave up 24 home runs last year, but they were really, really soft ones. A lot of them were just lazy fly balls that turned into a big home run. The problem with the numbers that Ray had was just the Diamondbacks defense being completely lousy. That probably won't change this season, but if he can get the curveball down pat, if he can keep the good spring that he's had going into the regular season, I think he's a really, really late round kind of sleeper pick that could turn into a great, great ace. Number 5 on my list, finally, I think Alex Bregman is going to be a bust. It's such a big call, and I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of comments about it. But I think, given the fact that he's had such a limited spring and that he played in the World Baseball Classic instead of getting some at-bats in with the Astros, which is what he really needed to do in his first full season of Major League Baseball, I think it's really hard to trust Bregman overall. I think Bregman is going to be another high strikeout guy. He struck out 0 for 3 against Syndergaard, I think last week in the spring, and he has a 27.2% strikeout rate on balls outside of the zone. So that's a little bit worrying. I think with Bregman too, he's going to be judged so heavily on home runs, which is a little bit unfair, but everyone expects him to put up home run numbers that he put up in the minors last year and the season before. He's kind of like Chris Bryant. Everyone expects him to knock a lot of them over the wall, probably like 30, but I don't think that's the case this season. I think he's still got a lot of learning to do with the bat, and I think overall, if I had to pick an outfielder that had a lot more upside, I'd go with Keon Broxton. So that's my 5 bold predictions for this season, guys. If you like the video, let me know. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so at RyanCook13. And good luck this season.